Jessica. Happy Thursday. Hope all is well. Child, I want to give you some information today, but I wanted to create this video just to give some empowerment to young women of color, especially this is the last day of Black History Month, and I'm a proud Spelmanite, proud Howard University grad, and this information, I wanted to just make this because, you know, it's good to learn. Sometimes you learn through experience, which I learned things through experience, and also my parents giving me the hard truth, but most of it was from experience. I went to Howard University for my MBA, Spelman College for my BA, and my parents were more on the counselor side, family were lawyers, not anyone really getting into the arena of business management, project management. So I wanted to make this video to provide some real insight for hopefuls. I know graduation is around the corner, and just to provide some real information on how to navigate certain cultures as a newcomer or any comer to the business realm. I just, you know, for me, I started as a contractor, as a consultant, and I think something that will help empower a lot of young people is to understand, you know, you're in these colleges that are very loving and very empowering and loving, but it's not that. Sometimes when you're out of school, and doesn't matter whether it's all white, all black, keep it real. I'm trying to speak to more of the young women of color that you need to be prepared for the workforce. There's a lot of toxic cultures out there. There's a lot of toxic cultures, toxic people, toxic processes. And I think for young people or people who are just transitioning to a business realm is to understand, one, you need to have tough skin, and you need to have a resilient spirit in any business, whether it's in the private sector, the public sector, anything, nonprofit. Having tough skin and being able to prepare for rejections is really important, because you're not going to just have your best dream role like when you come out of school. So just be prepared for that, prepare for rejection, and be able to be resilient and continue to just move forward despite all the no's, because that one yes, and making sure it's the right yes. And that's my second point. Don't be so hungry to jump on something because someone finally give you an offer letter. Really ask all the questions before you sign the dotted line. You know, I've served as a contractor, consultant, and I jumped on a lot of projects where I was just so hungry for the title and the money that you don't ask the right questions. Asking all the questions about the fine print, the amount of money, the length of the time, you know, who you're reporting to, who you'll be working with. All those questions are very important before jumping into the workforce or jumping into any new company, period, because this is your livelihood. So asking really important questions, not just, you know, the nice business, you know, sample questions you see on Google. Ask about the questions on how you're going to do day to day. What are you going to report to? You know, who you're going to report to? What is their working style? You know, why is this position open? You know, sometimes when you ask those questions when you're interviewing, why is this position even opening? Is it opening because someone had a hard time before? Like, asking those type of questions, asking balanced, lighthearted questions and the nitty-gritty is very important before you sign the bottom line, because you don't want to be unhappy and be in a position where you're not, you know, you're not. And I'm not saying every culture is going to be perfect, but asking the right questions is important. But researching online, doing as much as researching. Number 3, doing as much research as possible. So for me, one of my values, I know everyone's value system is different. I want to see diversity not only like everywhere, from the senior level, middle level, and entry level. So sometimes you just Google about us, see who the CEO is, who's the senior leadership. I want to see a very mixed and diverse staff, not only diversity with cultures, but diversity of thought. I like people, like if I'm reading some of their biographies, seeing, oh, this is a person who had a biology major who's now doing this and that. I don't want to see, you know, that's my value. So whatever your specific value, make sure that that is also, before you just applying and boom, 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 applying massively, make sure to take the time out to read what the people, who they are, because they're really nasty people. I'm telling you, don't just, let me tell y'all, don't just get excited about the titles, because I've done projects as a contractor in the federal government where there's people who just want to just hire people to get their numbers in. Okay, they see you sometimes, they don't even care about anything that you bring. They just want to get the numbers in and get the bid and keep it moving, and then they dispose you afterwards after they get what they wanted to get out of you. There's people who do things like that, and you got to really be careful. I think also asking the right questions with your peers and your coworkers too. I've worked in organizations where they don't really celebrate people being able to be innovative or having a change of thought. So I've worked in a position where you just have to be quiet. They say you're going to be doing this and that and the other, and at the end of the day, you're just writing minute notes. At the end of the day, and I'm like, wait, didn't the job description say I'm going to be translating data and doing all this stuff, and then at the end of the day, you're just writing minute notes? You got to really be careful. People that celebrate what you can bring, they shouldn't stifle it, they should embellish. So if I was ever a manager and I have an MBA and I got someone on my team that got a PhD that went to law school, I'm not going to minimize that. I'm going to use that as a catalyst to make the team better. During the interview process, talking to the managers and asking nitpicking, asking what their style is, what they want you to do. If you see a manager that does not want to see all your capabilities, they want to keep you pigeonholed, that don't want to see you grow, they just want you to just be quiet and they get all the opportunities, because sometimes, I'm just gonna be real, this intimidator, they're threatened to see someone else doing great things and they want to keep you quiet and doing just something small. A manager should want you to be the best of the best that they could, because at the end of the day, if you do great, they do great. Navigating toxic environments, sometimes you can't prevent it. You can ask all the right questions like I did, and you can still surprisingly get into a toxic environment. But asking some right questions do support it. Really get a feel of who you're reporting to, about if it's even a contract, is a full-time, if it's a contract to hire, how long is it going to be a contract to hire? Ask all those tough questions. I was laid off twice in 1 year from a contractor company. Okay, what do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So you got to really change the practices and the methodology. Another step that I want to tell people is utilize your networks, utilize people you're around, use LinkedIn to connect with other people in your college or university to find opportunities as well. You can ask them, hey, yo, give me the real deal. What's the culture like? Because when you look on a website, they're going to just tell all the right things because they're trying to get anybody. But, ask a real question from people that aren't even trying to interview you to get the real deal. Read the reviews online, don't let that shade or jade you, but also get the real deal, because sometimes you can be so hungry that you don't want to hear, you're like, oh, I'll just be positive. I remember out of school, I'm like, let me be positive, I'll change, I'll make things better. But sometimes it's true, you could do that, but sometimes if you're at a decline, if you apply for things that are already working at a decline, it's gonna, bad company corrupts good character, right? So I think you need to really be careful about what you do. Even if you get into a great company, it's not gonna be perfect, but you gotta just stay professional and do the right thing, and always, just always do the right thing. Always stay professional and document. Also, when you're interviewing, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street with people. I think that's something I learned at Howard. Interviewing, they're not only interviewing you, you're interviewing the company to see if it's a good match. There's a great organization, or it seemed like it was a great organization. They're taking a long time to schedule, like 2 weeks. They take a long time to do this. They take a long time to do that. They say something and they're not really giving the full answer, or not responding, or people are talking to you nasty during an interview, or asking you off the wall comments during an interview. you're kind of also seeing, okay, well, this is how they're working already. Okay. So it kind of gives you a mindset like, okay, well, if I see them doing this now while I'm interviewing, this is kind of giving me a preparation of how the organization is in the future. Okay. So when you're in the interview process, they're not only looking at you, but you're looking at them on how they're moving and how they're grooving to see if, well, you're already seeing that's who they are now. So, why could, make sure you take those notes. Have a spreadsheet. Don't just be interviewing willy-nilly and you forget. Keep a spreadsheet. Keep a log of what's happening, okay? Keep a log when you're applying, following up at a specific 1 to 2 weeks. Keep that in your log. Write down any notes during the process for yourself. So then when it's time, when you have multiple offers or when you have an offer letter, you go back to your notes and see, okay, well, it reminds you of your interactions during that, and you can compare and contrast to get the best thing for you. But logging is not only beneficial for your memory, but also it keeps you on track to follow up at a timely period. Because there's a lot to remember. You're applying for hundreds of companies, and for me personally, I have like a tab for leads and interviews, and then a tab of just general applications. Even the ones that you don't make it, I even have a tab for contacts. You keep those contacts saved, so then if you find another opportunity, well, they remember you from before. You save contacts too. My last thing I want to say is stand up for yourself as well during an organization. Stand up. If someone going, okay, child, the New Jersey in me. But I want to tell you this too. Don't let nobody talk to you crazy during the interview, okay? Remain professional and don't let anyone treat you crazy, because don't let people just treat you the way, just because you want an interview, don't allow people to, or you want a job, don't let people mistreat you because you want a job. Don't be that thirsty or desperate, okay? Don't let people talk to you crazy. Don't let people, string you along. Don't let people do stuff like that. Do stand up for yourself, and if something's not right, you can say, you know what, it's not a good match. Thank you so much, and keep it moving. Okay, you don't have to stay in something that's disgusting or people are doing nasty things. Okay. On the hindsight, the flip of that is, if you're not sure, be patient too. Be patient at the same time. Be patient. Don't jump to conclusions. You see that they're doing favoritism, okay, and they put you, the black person, at the end, and child, if they're treating you like that now, why would you want to, sometimes stay positive through that, but if you should never be subjected to disrespect and maltreatment. I understand the workforce is hard, but don't let your hunger of getting a job make you just be accepting of anything as well, okay? Stay hungry, stay positive, really cast a large net too. Don't just apply for like one thing. Apply for hundreds of things and then navigate through those hundreds of different things that you've applied for. Try different channels of distribution. Not only just do Indeed, do ZipRecruiter, do LinkedIn, do referrals, do just on the website, do through a staffing firm. Do all the things you can think of. Don't just do one method as well. So I hope this video inspires anyone that's, in the position of, doing new things or applying for new opportunities to don't get disheartened. Pray. Also, as a Christian, I want to say pray through the process too. Pray that God navigates you through the process as well. Be proactive as well as be proactive. And make sure you work hard and also take time for yourself. Self-care is important. Still work out, moving and grooving. Don't get too focused on, keep it in balance and check yourself too, okay? And that's it. So if you guys have any questions about this video, let me know. I'm going to do some more business-based videos because I think my insight will help a lot of not only young, but just anyone. Finding the right culture that matches you is really what you're doing at the end of the day. It's like dating almost. You got to just find the right the right match. But putting your best foot forward at all costs as well. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for some more. Have a great day.